Hello again, YouTube. It is July 8th still. Friday night, 8:58 p.m., so almost 9 o'clock. I ended up ducking out of Bullocks early again, just like I did last week, which I kind of expected might end up happening. I didn't this feels like a repeat of last weekend. I absolutely did not sleep well, much of which due to just me being apprehensive about Priscilla sleeping on my couch, and also, I want to say both nights such a repeat of last weekend. Both nights I did leave Bullocks early. Bullocks ended up being such a stressful night and stressful show that when it was over, I literally curled into a ball and ended up taking a little power nap after the show in the corner of the DJ booth. I heard that they were looking for me, that they were worried about me. I guess nobody thought to look there, which is funny. But even Mario asked me about that when I saw him this afternoon. She's like, "Where did you go afterwards? We were looking for you." It's like, "I was in the DJ booth." I just told him I've got so much stress going on, and then the show was so high stress that I just needed to kind of be away from people and unwind. So I just sat there, and I actually gave him the whole rundown of everything that's going for Priscilla. I mean, I already told him quite a bit, but just so much more has gone foul since the last 2 weeks, and he was pretty flabbergasted. Although I kind of have to agree with his final assessment of it, and that's dude, that's awful. He goes, "But that's on you, right?" And I'm like, "Wait, what?" He's like, "Dude, that's your apartment. Your apartment. You gotta lay down the law. Either she's with you and she's doing you right, or she needs to get the fuck out." So it sounds to me like at this point it sounds like this point is you're well to the point of GTFO, and hang on, I gotta get me some food. I didn't do my dollar taco. I was there late enough. I could have got the dollar tacos, but I was just in I had kind of a thing happen at Bullocks. I was in such a foul mood. I just packed. Yeah, I left quickly. I didn't feel like sticking around for tacos. I hope they're open.
Del Taco, are you here for delivery?
No, I wanted to place an order.
Oh, okay. Alright, what can I get for you?
I've got a coupon for buy one, get one free Del Combo Burrito.
Del Combo burrito?
Yeah, and I'd like to get those with green sauce instead of red sauce.
Okay. So, Del Combo burrito, no red sauce, green sauce, and 2 of them like that, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and buy one, get one free coupon. No, that'll be it for me.
Alright,
I'll get drinks at the bar.
$9.36.
Wait, for one Del Combo burrito? Because ordinarily 2 Del Combo burritos are $6.
Yeah, if I do the 2 for $6, the coupon's not gonna work.
Okay, so that total doesn't include the coupon.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay,
Right.
Thank you.
No problem. Yeah, I tried it before on one.
Yeah, no, it makes sense to me.
And it didn't work, and I was like, "Why isn't it working?" And I
And I guess your POS just doesn't let you put in a coupon before you actually scan it, which makes sense. I've never worked at Del Taco, but I've certainly done my share of fast food drive-throughs. That's the total I was looking for.
It used to work, but
No, it's all good.
I guess they took it off.
Oh, I was almost worried y'all weren't open since there's nobody in the drive-through.
Oh yeah.
It's been a long time since I've gone through this drive-through with there's nobody in it.
Yeah.
Can I get my receipt? Get my receipt, please.
He's coming in. We have to Any hot sauce?
No. As long as I got green sauce on the burritos, I'm good. Ouch. Dang, he still didn't give me my receipt. So, gosh, where was I? Nothing like going through a drive-thru to completely lose my train of thought. Oh, man. Oh, yeah, so talking with Mario over there about what's going on with Priscilla, and he kind of pointed it out. It's like, dude, it's. In fact, I've been talking with a lot of people, and everyone's just like, you just got to get her out of there. You got to get her out of there. So, I'm actually working towards that. I did pay all the bills. Last month, and pretty much just spent the first, the first week of July trying to get her to pay her share, which was all paid late. And I don't need that anxiety. I mean, I was able to do it without her. So at this point, I'm not seeing any benefits at all to keeping her there. I mean, there's no longer any intimacy. There's no longer any friendship. The mess that she is, like, it's so messy, and it's getting progressively worse. And it almost seems like she just kind of treats it as a workplace, that she doesn't care about cleaning. I mean, she did sleep there last night, so there's that. But she, as I pointed out, she slept there on Tuesday night. Wait, I'm trying to get it straight here. Yeah, so Monday night was the 4th. She did not sleep there Saturday, Sunday, or Monday. She slept there Tuesday night, did not sleep there Wednesday night, and slept there Thursday night. So I don't know who she's staying the night with. She's denied having a boyfriend, but yeah, okay, so you're lying. Whatever. I mean, I've caught her in numerous lies, so the one thing I know for certain is at this point she's a liar. And how many women are going to be honest about that with a guy anyway, right? But I mean, yeah, she's stayed the night at home a whopping 2 nights of the last week. Well, I guess the verdict is still out on Friday. She did stay the night last Friday. I don't expect her to stay the night this Friday, but she might. But I guess out of 6 days, she stayed there 2. Right on, thank you. Oh, is my receipt in the bag?
Yeah.
My receipt?
Oh, yeah, it's in the bag. Should be right back there. Yeah.
Oh, there it is. Okay, thank you. It's such a thing with drive-thrus these days, trying to make an effort to have my receipts, because I try to keep all my receipts for everything that I run on a credit card, just to make sure that I'm being charged the right amount. It looks like you can't see it here, but it looks like there's 2 guys trying to go in the door to order food. Yeah, the front door has been locked for quite some time at this Del Taco. It's been a long time since I've seen that door open. And those 2 guys were looking at a note on the door. And check it out and get them on camera. By the time I get turned around, they're going to be gone. Looks like they went to the other side and saw another note saying the lobby is closed, and are walking off. So yeah, apparently on a Friday night at 9:08 p.m. Del Taco's lobby is closed. So unless you have a motor vehicle, You're being discriminated against and can't order here. It really bothers me that that's considered an acceptable practice. Either you're open for business or not. I wish every city would get on board with the law like Baton Rouge has that requires that that businesses can't discriminate and only serve people who are in motor vehicles. I mean, it's worked out fine for me. I got a motor vehicle, but I was without a motor vehicle for 9 months, and it would have been really frustrating to have a coupon in my pocket and not be able to come in and get my burritos. And it's potentially discrimination against the handicapped, because there are a lot of people who can't drive due to disability. In fact, I've been reading that in the autistic community, a lot of autistic people who have the mental issues I have, can't drive. Oddly enough, driving is one of those things that I've always been so good at that it's almost like a therapy for me. Like, this is my safe space. My stress and level generally goes down while I'm driving, because it's just such a routine thing and such a calculated thing that I'm just comfortable there. But I get how for a lot of people it's not. So it's a little bit after 9. I'm rolling by. I want to go to the Wander Inn. Just rolling by here right now to see if Priscilla is actually here. Now she. So yeah, no, I don't see her vehicle here. So yeah, out of 6 nights, she only stayed 2 nights at my home. So it looks like she's just using it as a place to keep her mess, and holy shit, is it a mess. Receive her mail, which I'm not denying her access to, but after the way she stole my mailbox key last week, I'm certainly limiting her access to it. And to do her work at home job, which of course she's doing in my daughter's bedroom, which is preventing me from finding where my daughter is, which is certainly more important than trying to this god awful excuse for this toxic relationship I have with her. I was so upset on Thursday morning, when she was not home, and then basically showed up at her car at 8:30 a.m. and just sat out there outside the building in her car instead of coming in and seeing if I was here. It's, oh, good morning, you see you beat me at home. She just sat there until literally the last minute to come in and go to work, and then all quiet and stealthily got in to the point I did not hear her come in, which is odd. Normally I hear her when she gets up to pee. So, didn't, of course, made no effort to, like, I knew she didn't stay the night because of all the crap that was on the couch, or like I call it her nest, including that bass guitar that she was given by the guy who I'm being told is her new boyfriend. It was laying, face up with a book shoved in the strings on there, and so nothing moved. Like, she came in, didn't move anything, just went directly into my daughter's room to start her work day. So I'm not sure when she got up this morning. I was asleep when I did this morning. At one point I did hear her go to the bathroom, and I think I mentioned in my last vlog I heard her go up in the bathroom, but then about 15 minutes later I went out to get something to drink, and I peeked in the living room, and she was back asleep. I don't ever recall hearing her alarm go off, but that doesn't mean I was sleeping too hard to hear it, because I did manage to go back to sleep. But I'm trying to think of what time I woke up. I'm not sure. I want to say it was around 10 a.m., 9:30 a.m. more or less. I'm sure I have some pictures that are time-stamped. I've been trying to take pictures that are time-stamped as a way to remember the stuff, because I know I'm really, really bad at, my memory fades, but time-stamped pictures do not, as long as I can keep them backed up. yeah, so anyway, when I woke up, she was already in the in Lily's room working. She had the door closed, completely closed, so I couldn't see in there at all. Yeah, still kind of a mess in the living room. The only thing that had notably changed is the bass guitar, again stored in a way that's not good for a bass guitar. She had it on the floor with this leaning against the front of the couch with the strings pressing against the couch. I can't help but wonder if this guy who gave her the bass knows how poorly she's treating it. And I, just wow. Passing by the break room, I'm awfully curious to see if the break room is going to be open tonight. And it looks like they are. Yeah, there's an open sign and there's some people there in the parking lot. Not a big crowd, but hey, the break room's kind of a late night spot, so I don't really expect too many people to be there at 9:14 p.m. So anyway, so I ended up coming home, and I didn't vlog on the way home because I was just kind of tired, and I just wanted to focus on driving and traffic. And I've been oversharing because I'm behind on uploading stuff again. So, and I'm getting these long videos, and my viewer count's going way down. So, yeah, nobody wants to watch this, and I get it. And if it's boring for you, as the people who watch this, just keep in mind this is for me more than anything a diary, and it's gonna suck when my life sucks. Just kind of is what it is. Yeah, I'm trying to think what time. I think I left. I want to say I left Volux around 4:30 in the afternoon. I probably got home. I made surprisingly good time. I didn't really hit any traffic to speak of. I saw traffic on the outbound 17 was awful, but I went to freeway the whole way. I-17 to I-17 to I-10 to Loop 202, just freeway straight home, and no traffic to speak of, which was awesome. It looks like there's a decent crowd at Castaways, but I don't see Priscilla's vehicle here. I think they only have karaoke. It's just so hard to do karaoke going on here because he's only on 2 screens and they're not really visible. Yeah, there's no karaoke night. Apparently they just do karaoke here now on Saturdays. No Priscilla vehicle. Of course, she might be in Gypsy's, so I guess I'm gonna go around the block to get back at Gypsy's parking lot. Anyway, yeah, no traffic on the way home. My daughter suggested that I contact my landlord about getting Priscilla removed from my apartment, which, I get along really great with my landlord. In fact, one of the reasons I don't want to move is because I have a really good landlord. So many people telling me, well, why don't you just move out? Because it's my fucking apartment. Just move out and leave it for her. Are you kidding? No. When you've got a squatter in your home, do you leave your home so your squatter can inherit your home? No, I don't think so. No, that's my apartment, 100% in my name, and it's a good deal. I would not be able to, with the current housing market, I would not be able to find anything that nice. In fact, I would be really hard pressed to find something I could afford, period, and qualify for, period. So no, definitely not moving out of my apartment. That is my apartment. She needs to get the hell out. And so, both my daughter and I've had a couple people that have told me that I should contact my landlord about it, and I did because and my landlord pointed out that. So I had a text conversation with him today. She's not here. So yeah, she definitely just already went to the boyfriend's place. Or wherever she goes, that is not this bar and not that bar and not that bar. might go see if she's over near our friend Chris's place, but highly doubtful of that. There's, she wasn't there on July 4th. Was there any place, and I should really talk to Chris. I haven't talked to Chris in a while. In fact, I haven't really talked to him or his wife since we went to that party at his multi-millionaire boss's house, which was a great time. I would love to do that again, and I'd like him to actually hire me to KJ a party over there, because the karaoke system he had was just straight up dysfunctional. I mean, we enjoyed the music, we enjoyed the pool, it was a good time, but I think if I would have, that could have been a fun night of work for me, and I think, and certainly the guy can afford my services he spent way more money having a system installed that just didn't work than what it would have cost to have me come out, what it would cost for me to come out on the nights that he wants well done karaoke. Anyway, yeah, I highly doubt that Priscilla's going to be here, but I figure I should at least roll by and see if she's here, and that gives me a little bit more time to talk. So I want to get all this out. So yeah, I had a chat with him, and he actually thought that she still had her own place, because when she moved in, I did talk about her. It's like, well, she's probably there a lot. She's my girlfriend, but she's got her own place in Tempe, so that's why she's never been on the lease. Well, he told me that it's a requirement that anybody who's on the lease, I think that is her vehicle. It's anybody who's on the lease has to complete a background check and a credit check, and be on the lease. Otherwise, they're not supposed to be there more than 10 days. No, that's not her vehicle. I saw a large white truck. I thought that might be her, but it's not. It's not even close to being hers, but in the dark, it looked like it could have been. Anyway, she, so he's like, well, she, if she doesn't have her own place, and, and she's not a guest, like she goes, he goes, I've always cut you slack on that, because, I thought she had her own place, and I know you guys kind of have her thing, but yeah, she goes, but yeah, I can certainly, send a notice that you've had a guest present for, a guest who's not on the lease present for more than 10 days, and that she has 10 days to remove herself from there. Of course, then the problem becomes, then of course the problem I'm going to be facing is that more likely than not, shit, I'm in the wrong lane. Sorry, there ain't no traffic here. Is it more likely than not she's going to be like, oh, well, let me get on the lease, blah, 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 blah. Fuck no. I'm going to have no problem saying no to that. Yeah, no problem at all. Yeah, he said that, that's he can do that. But then I told him, it's like, well, I don't want you filing a notice that says, that I have to be, that she's got to be gone in 10 days, and then when she's not gone in 10 days, that creates a situation. Plus, she has paid me. She has paid her share of the rent through the end of the month. And he's like, well, he goes, well, what about a restraining order? And I have a fundamental problem with restraining orders as a concept anyway. I find that and I feel like I've gone off about this a few times on my vlog. I feel like they seriously violate the Constitution in the way they're given out ex parte. I feel like it deprives the person on the receiving end of their horribly deprives them of their right to due process. I mean, granted, they can request a hearing, but then, between the time that they are served the restraining order, or in Arizona, as they're called, order of protection, and the time that they get the hearing, denied rights that they should have without any real due process. Now, people have challenged it on that, and the courts have upheld that it's for the greater good, which is horseshit in my book. That's the same bullshit that's being said about red flag laws that are being proposed right now. And yeah, just like those for the same reason. But desperate times sometimes call for desperate measures. Now, I don't think, now, it's been a while since I've messed with protective orders, and usually when I've been messing with them, it's been trying to help guys that have been on the receiving end from women who have used them as a means to separate them from their children, which is what my ex-wife did to me as well, and also to get me out of my house so she could try to sell it out from under me, which she didn't succeed in doing because I got some help, and I basically outdid her on that end in the courts. But she certainly tried. She had it on the market and was trying to sell it completely out from under me while I had a restraining order, so I couldn't be there. And that's another story for another time. I'd love to go into that. That is a great story, especially what happened when I got the court orders changed and I was there, and then she showed up, like literally, wow, that guy's using the left turn lane as a passing lane because he had to be around me because I was going 5 under the speed limit. People drive like assholes out here. It's crazy. Anyway, so she, the day the ex-wife showed up after I got those orders changed and finally went home to my home and my house in Tucson, sure as shit, like I woke up to her, and I had changed the lock, but I changed the locks, but I woke up to her trying to break into my house. My wife at this point, we were still married, and I called the police and she called the police, and thank God I had all my certified court orders in place and was able to, for the first time that I had a conflict with her, like my locks and stuff that I put up was keeping her out, even though she was trying to break in through the window, which I had boarded up. She was trying to take the boards down. She had what do you call it? She had I guess I am telling a story now, aren't I? Yeah, she was trying to break in, and I called the police. She called the police, and she's like, "Well, this is my house." But the police looked at everything, and where my ex-wife really failed on that was that when in Arizona, when you file an order of protection against your spouse, and then if you go back later and you file a divorce against your spouse, they need to be filed into the same case number. And I mean, she's representing herself, so I don't think it was done maliciously. I think she honestly didn't know. But where she really screwed up was not only that, but in the order of protection that she got against me to boot me out of my house and deny me access to my daughter Allison. She had put down our house in Tucson, 717 East McMillan Drive, Tucson, as her residence. That was like when you filed papers with the court. When you file papers with the court, you have to file in a petition. You got to have your address in it, and also like you're filing sub pro se, your address goes in the upper left-hand corner. On the legal proceeding. So anyway, there are mechanisms for somebody filing a order of protection if they want their address protected and not disclose that, but that's a whole other separate thing, and try not to get sidetracked talking about that. But anyway, so yeah, Daniela had filed the order of protection saying, well, this is my house and I need this to be a protected address, so my husband won't come there because I fear for my safety. And checking to see if maybe, just maybe, she's at the old brass rail. I don't know if we're come to the old brass rail in quite a while, but we used to come here a lot together, and mostly I'm just killing time so I can get all of my thoughts out and onto my vlog before I head back to Wander Inn, because I'm definitely going to do some karaoke at Wander Inn tonight. And Tim did say he was going to have a battery charger for me. In fact, I have my rechargeable batteries in my pocket, so I can charge them while I'm there. And even if he didn't remember a charger for me, I'm sure he'll let me use his charger to charge them up today. Pretty sure. So, yeah, we'll see her vehicle here. No shock there. Maybe, just maybe, she might go to the hideaway. Although I don't think she's looking for me. She wanted to see me. I was in bed when she left. My car was there, so she knew I was there. I like the lights on that guy's wheels. That was cool. The bicycle. Anyway, so yeah, ex-wife filed the order of protection, also known as a restraining order, with that being her address, and then now I ended up getting arrested, I guess, on violation of that, which was weird because I'd never been served it. And I'm really going into way too much on the divorce thing. I need to just focus on the Priscilla thing. But anyway, while I was in jail over allegedly violating that, and then some other trumped up allegations that she come up with, I wonder what's that Moses is up to. Can't tell if the lights are there. There's a vehicle there. I bet he's there. It's hard to see the lights because he kind of closes that all off, and I think he put some sound insulation over the windows anyway, which is a wise thing to do in a recording studio. Once I was in jail, and the thing was, I was never served the order. Now I did. That's a whole separate issue, and I'll bring that. I'll explain that at some point. I will explain how that went down. But yeah. So I was wrongfully arrested by the Tucson Police Department. Wow, it is crowded here tonight. Holy shit! Wow, I wonder what's going on here. You know, the DJ here, and I'm forgetting his name, I think it's Tim as well, been telling me that there's been, and him and I kind of go way back, he's been telling me that there have been nights here that just these groups get together, and it's, well, we got people loitering on the bus stop too. They might be waiting for the bus. He's been getting these large groups there that have been really overwhelming to him. Like the last time I was there, which was the night of Priscilla's birthday party that I knew nothing about. Well, I guess I knew about it by the time I got to Hideaway, but I didn't know about it, when I went out that night. I just got up and realized, once again, it's Friday night and she's not here. She's gone out without me. All right. Yeah. So, so I was wrongfully arrested by Tucson PD on violating an order of protection that I had never been served, but somehow some renegade cop put it in this, I guess he waved it in front of my face, and then he put it in his system that I'd been served it, and that's not how process service works. I really should have filed some lawsuits on that. I definitely had the winning hand on those, but just that whole divorce thing just left me so financially and mentally. There's a large. Oh, it's a chair. God, I thought it was a dog. Chair in the middle of the road. It left me in such a bad, just so bad. It took me years just to recover. I was in no shape to. I don't know. I did try to file some lawsuits. I filed a couple lawsuits. I never really followed through on any of them. But yeah, Tucson is definitely one I should have went after because I was wrongfully arrested. And that cop wrongfully put in the court system that he had served me a protective order when he did not. But hey, believe all women and protect the women, right? So anyway, while I was in jail for that, is when Daniela served us our divorce papers, and there's where she screwed up, because in the divorce papers she used her dad's address, which was a house near it was a house pretty close to like Encano Boulevard and 43rd Avenue. Actually, both her parents were alive still then, but it was her parents' house. So she put that down as her address in the divorce, which worked out really well for me, because when I requested a hearing for the order of protection, Now, I don't know if she got notice that if she had the opportunity to go to the hearing or not. I don't remember exactly how that works. I feel like she had an opportunity to go to the hearing, but she just didn't go. So I'm pretty sure I had to serve her a copy, that I'd requested a hearing, and I did. Memory serves. Yeah, after that, she, so she didn't show up to that hearing. And basically what I presented at the hearing was, I showed the judge the divorce pleading. Is basically she had, like in an order of protection, you can protect your residence address and your work address. So, which was really shitty because I worked from home, so that was my work address. Like I had all my inventory. I had an online record store. I had all my inventory there. So of course, while I was not there, she took everything that was all my business, all my computers, all my inventory, everything, all my packing materials, and put them in storage somewhere that she didn't give me access to. So yeah, really, really creative way to use a protective order to completely fuck me over and fuck my business, in addition to running me out of my home. And mind you, at the time, she was unemployed. My ex-wife. I mean, she got hers and she gave it to herself. So I can't really, I can't be righted any more than I already have. The ex-wife, basically when I showed up, so the way the law works in Arizona is that it can protect your place of employment, and which you have to specify in the pleading, and it has to be specified in the order, and then also your place of residence. Well, in order for it to be your place of residence, you actually have to reside there. Well, what she had done in the divorce case, she filed the divorce using her parents' address, and she filed it in the Maricopa County Superior Court. She did everything in Maricopa County Superior Court. We lived in Tucson, so jurisdiction would have been Pima County Superior Court. So I'm up at the Maricopa County Superior Court. Now, granted, you can go to any court to get a protective order for Arizona. It's because it's looked at as an emergency thing. Just go to the closest variable court. It's an emergency. So that's not so odd. But the fact she filed the divorce, and she filed the divorce and tried to make it look like we lived in Phoenix, and tried to make it look like the house was not our marital house. In the divorce pleading, she tried to make it look like the house was her house from prior to the marriage, and that it was her sole and separate property. And basically what I did is when I first got out of jail is I filed two things. I filed a request for the hearing on the order of protection so I could get back into my house, and a request for the and then I filed what's called a lis pendens, which is basically a document that stops any changing of hands. Basically makes it to where, so she had the house for sale. She had listed the house of the realtor and already had the house for sale, and it was up on the MLS and everything, for sale sign in front of the house, and was literally trying to sell the house out from under me, which is completely illegal. But because of the way she filed her papers, she made it look like it was all her house, and the house was 100% her name. But hey, that's not how community property works in Arizona, and we were married. So, she did the. So she had filed trying to put that as separate property. Anyway, a lis pendens, what it does is it basically creates a record in the court case. Like, say there's some kind of property, generally speaking real estate, but it could be a vehicle as well, where the ownership is disputed due to any kind of lawsuit. It doesn't just have to be a divorce, but one of the the person who's in physical possession of that item, or who's, or in this case, she was the sole name on the deed, trying to sell the house. Well, the ownership of even though on the deed it shows her as the sole ownership, I had a marital financial issue in the house, so she couldn't legally sell it. Plus, the house would have been, there's a thing called a preliminary injunction that's filed as soon as a marriage is filed that says, no marital property can be sold without written agreement of the parties or a court order. So I mean, she's violating that by the fact that she had the house up on the MLS. But I needed something a little more solid to file, to give to the realtor that had it listed. And so I filed a list pendants. So there was, notice that hey, I've got the ownership of this house is being disputed in this divorce trial, this pending divorce trial, and then I filed that with I brought that down to the realtor, the real estate office that had the house listed, and I'm like, y'all need to get your sign out of the front of my house pronto. And anyway, so I did the thing. When I went to the hearing, there wasn't really much to it. I just said, Your Honor, this is our marital house, and that's also my place of employment because I have an online business, and I've been shut out of my home while she's been out basically lying to authorities and courts. I said, I don't mind. I'm not looking to vacate. And here's kind of where I made a mistake. I didn't request for a hearing regarding access to my daughter. I didn't realize you only get one chance to get a hearing. I used a checkbox form, and there was a checkbox for house, and there was a checkbox for child, and there's a checkbox to completely vacate the order. At this point, I didn't want to vacate the order because I really liked the idea of there being a protective order that stopped that woman from being anywhere around me. I thought that was a good thing. But I was under the understanding that you just had to choose one thing on that form. It didn't really explain that. And so at this point, I was trying to square away my house. I figured I was ready to get access to my daughter. I'd file another one to get access to my daughter, which of course I did. And then when I did, they told me I couldn't have another hearing because I'd already had a hearing on it. Oh well, you live, you learn. I will never make that mistake again. Not that I'm planning on having another baby again, but just throwing that out. Of course, Lily is still 12 and probably heading towards a custody dispute with Elise, but soon. But that'll be a separate tragedy. Anyway, basically, I just explained that that what she had done is that she'd filed that thing to get me removed from my house, but then as soon as I left, she rented it out to some tweaker friends of hers, and that was my marital property. It was my home. She's actually residing with her parents, and to show evidence that she's residing with her parents, I showed the judge, that she had filed a divorce using her parents' address as her address, and he looked at that and he goes, well, Arizona law is pretty clear. You can only protect your residence. Since this isn't your residence, I'll remove it from the order. Grant your modification so you can go home. And then I asked him, well, what do I do about the tweakers in my house? He goes, well, you're going to probably, if they're still there, you're probably going to have to evict them in a local justice court. I'm like, okay. So fortunately, they had vacated the place by the time I got down there. Like by the time I got back to Tucson, I think I had to rent a car to get that done because, of course, she had taken our car. I mean, it was her car. It was our car, so that's fine. Take the Saturn. Your name's on it. Thing's upside down on the loan anyway. That needs to be your problem. Just make sure you pay my mom back for the new tires she bought us. I did really want the car back then, and I think by then I had already had it explained to me that, dude, no, you do not want any part of that car. You need to make sure that car is declared her sole and separate property, or before you're stuck paying for a car that she's driving. That's what my friend's dad, who was a divorce lawyer, told me. So anyway, she, Daniela, so yeah, I got that modified. So I think I rented a car. I might have leased a cab, which same thing as renting a car. I was still driving for Allstate Cab at the time. But yeah, I went down to my apartment, or my house. I mean, our house, and it was gutted. I mean, gutted. Like there was nothing left in it. at all. Like just down to, I mean, she'd even taken some of the appliances, all my stuff, all my clothes, everything just gone. But hey, at least I have my house. And so I had the certified copy of the divorce paperwork. You know, I had copies of the divorce paperwork showing, that her that she filed it with her residence being in Phoenix, with her parents, and then I had the modified copy of the order of protection, showing that was, and I made sure that when I filed my responsive pleading for the divorce that I put that down as my address, even though I hadn't had access to it yet, because I didn't have another address. And then I also, my request for hearing, I put that down as my address because that was my address. And so all my paperwork had that address as my address. And the paperwork and the divorce hearing stuff had that address as my address because I'd filed my responsive pleading at that time. And I'd also did a request for temporary hearing, although that's not really part of it, so relevant to the story. Anyway, so she, so when she showed up, she's like, but it's my house. And the officer looked at all the paperwork. It's like, well, it's your marital house. As to whether or not it's your house, that's at this point, that's for a judge to decide. But at this point, it's his residence. But he's not allowed to be blah, blah, blah far away from me. But it's like, ma'am, just as that order of protection stops him from coming to your residence and bothering you, it also obligates you to not go to his residence and bother him. I'm looking at the paperwork, and it's pretty clear that your residence is this address in Phoenix, and that this house is his residence. So you need to leave him alone, and go back to your residence in Phoenix, because otherwise, if you continue to, if I have to come out here again, you continue to bother him, I'm going to have to arrest you for violating this order. And couldn't believe it, but boy, was that was a giant victory, having that go down. So yeah, one of the few times I navigated the courts and did well. Anyway, so I got sidetracked on that. I said I wasn't going to say the story, but I pretty much did. That's pretty much the whole story of what happened with me and my ex-wife Daniela, who was my wife at that time. The thing that made it extra rough is she did have my baby Allison with her. And as soon as she saw me through the door, she was crying, "Daddy, daddy, 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 daddy," and was wanting to go to me. And that absolutely broke my heart. Which, of course, she didn't let me. And it would have been a violation of that court order had she let me hold my daughter at that point in time. So, but boy, did it hurt seeing my baby, who was like 14 months old at the time, just standing there crying. She wanted her daddy, and she could see her daddy and hear her daddy. And then to see her just sit her in the car seat in what was my car, see my baby crying in the car while this stuff's going down with the police. Yeah, that's a great way to raise your kid, Daniela. Awesome. And I'm sure, Daniela and Allison doesn't remember that stuff, but that couldn't have been a good experience for her. Pretty fucked up. She put our daughter through that. Anyway. Yeah, really fucked up. She put her daughter through that. So anyway, back to the issue at hand. And Priscilla, not only did my landlord suggest that I get a restraining order against her, but a lot of other people have been suggesting that. Now, I don't think that qualifies, because I'm pretty sure the one in Arizona is just based around violence, and Priscilla has not done any. There's been no violence against me at all. I mean, it would make things super easy if there was, but there hasn't been any violence whatsoever. Now, granted, there's been, all the things I've talked about, where she comes in and gets me all aroused by climbing into my bed and feeling me up and kind of making out with me and cuddling with me, and then not giving it up, and that's certainly emotional abuse. But that'd be pretty difficult to explain on a petition for an order of protection, especially considering that she, that I can't even say, well, she's sexually assaulting me because I've really asked her to do that. Well, I mean, I haven't asked her to, get me aroused and then leave me hanging, but I mean, I've certainly asked her to come and have physical relations that we're supposed to be having as a couple. I'm here, I'm waiting for you. When you see me, I'm in bed, and I'm there waiting for you. So, yeah. Although I have told her at this point that, when she does that, it's taunting me. And the last time that she did, I mean, I didn't respond to her, and I did tell her, you're taunting me. I did tell her that. But at this point, I can't say it's really happening. So kind of back to my story. I got back from Bullocks at so anyway, I talked to Lon a little bit more. I actually called him on the phone. Like, we were texting when I was at Bullocks, but I called him on the phone as I was driving home, since the traffic wasn't so much and I wasn't vlogging, and talked about various options and whatnot. And he's pretty convinced that I can get a restraining order. I'm pretty convinced I can. But anyway, he had mentioned some different stuff that he's aware of, because obviously as a landlord, he's been through this before. He's been through this with tenants before. And it's open and shut. It's my apartment. Like, Priscilla's not even on the lease. But anyway, he said he's going to look through the papers he has and through the stuff he has and see what he can do. And I'm going to meet with him Monday morning after work, because I get off work at 5:30 a.m. That's roughly the time he gets up. Usually that's when I pay my rent, and usually that's when I see him, is in the early morning after I get home from work. So I'm going to meet with him and let him enjoy his weekend. But he did say, find that stuff over the weekend. And it's a rough job. Like, I try to respect his personal time, but I mean, for him, his job really is a 24/7 job. I sure hope that thing blinking at me didn't just give me a photo radar ticket. Forget I'm in Paradise Valley and they're ridiculous about that shit here. Oh well, time to get off a major street and go back roading. See how good my back road skills are, since I haven't been driving in this area for a long time. See how good my muscle memory is. God, I love this view of Phoenix. Sure would be great to have $5 million to buy a house over here. Anyway, hey, but the housing market does seem to have peaked and the prices are coming down again. So it's not quite the crash I was hoping for, but I'm still hoping for that. Still hoping for that real estate market crash. I'm hoping for it. I'm sure a lot of other people aren't, but that's what I'm hoping for. If you own a house in Arizona and hey, you can root for your team. I'm rooting for mine. I'm a renter who'd like to be a homeowner. So anyway, I'd like to be a homeowner again, I'd like to point out. Anyway, so so that's what's on the plan. That's what's on the agenda with that. Meanwhile, I got to get through this weekend. So I got home. She was in Lily's room, working, but she did have that door wide open. She had obviously gone out to her nest, but hadn't really done any cleaning. But what she had done, and I've mentioned this before in this vlog, this really upsets me, and I don't know that I've really told her that it upsets me. And I guess that's kind of my bad, that I do have a bad habit of doing that. Things upset me, and I just don't tell her, and I can't really expect her to change her behavior if I'm not telling her. So that's kind of my bad. But it really does upset me that she leaves that laptop on 24/7 in the living room. I mean, she was gone for 3 days last weekend. She was gone Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Didn't get home until Tuesday. I didn't get home until Tuesday morning. So she was gone all that time, and trying trying to remember if that's the intersection with the surveillance cactus. I don't think it is. I think that the surveillance cactus is the next roundabout a half mile ahead of me. And hopefully I'll remember to put a link in my video description about what a surveillance cactus is, because it's funny. This thing deserves its own video, it really does. But there are videos about it, and I'll try to link one to my this vlog. So anyway, coming up on the surveillance cactus. No, it doesn't bother me. The surveillance cactus amuses me more than anything else. I mean, I've got a legally licensed vehicle. I'm driving on public roads, so it doesn't matter that I don't live in this neighborhood. And there's nothing that people who live in this neighborhood can do about me driving on these streets. So when I got back, the door was wide open. Because apparently she'd assumed that I was gone for the day, and the thing that she did that annoyed me is she had her laptop on. Like I said, she left it on 3 whole days. She was gone, and she just left that thing on, wasting electricity, powered up, running. I mean, granted, I get it's not electricity, but it doesn't matter. Like, this is my electric bill. Turn that shit off. Turn that shit off. The other thing that she does is she'll leave it streaming stuff. So I came in, there's some TV shows streaming on that in the living room while she's in Lily's bedroom working. Like, what's that even about? That makes no sense at all. Like, she's sitting here getting upset that she doesn't, calling a Cox service person to my home to come in and check the bandwidth, saying she doesn't have enough bandwidth, but she's streaming 1080p video in the other room, and she's not even watching it. Hey, you want to have some more bandwidth? Quit wasting bandwidth in the other room on absolutely nothing while you're wasting electricity. There's a good idea. Duh. So, So I saw that, and that was on. I'm just like, I took a couple pictures of just the state of couple more pictures of the state of how the room was. I'm trying to keep documentation of pictures of just how the place is changing from day to day, and how she's leaving it a mess, but she's slowly moving things around in her mess and not cleaning. And then the next at that point, I kind of peeked in. I could hear her talking, but I kind of peeked in, but I didn't make eye contact or say anything to her. And, see, she's there. I did take a picture that kind of shows that she's there to have a timestamp. And it was, I want to say it was about, actually, I don't think I took a picture at that time, but anyway, I want to say that was about 5:15 p.m. Now, generally speaking, she gets off at 6, but she does, like, if she's on a call, she can't be like, oh, sorry, I didn't solve your problem, I'm off work, good luck with that, and hang up on her person. So if she gets a difficult call at 5:55, she might still have to work another, half hour, 45 minutes, depending on how long she's on the phone with that client, which, that's gotta suck. Glad I don't have a job like that. At Amazon, when it's quitting time, it's quitting time. And at Moloch's at 2 a.m., I play the Get the Fuck Out of Here song, or as it's actually called, the closing song by Red Peters. So, yeah, that's not something I have to deal with. Anyway, I woke up, I want to say about 6:15-ish, and she was still on the phone. So that's definitely when I took a picture, just to so I had a record that she's still there on the phone. And got myself a Coke out of the fridge and went back to bed. I was still kind of tired, and went back to sleep. I actually did manage to get back to sleep, which, thank God for small miracles. I woke up, I want to say, at 7:40-ish. About 7:40. And, gosh, I hope I'm getting the times right. It might have been, no, I figure 7:40-ish. I don't know, close to 8 o'clock. Anyway, sorry, I don't remember times if I don't have them written down in front of me. But at any rate, I got up, and she was gone. Didn't, come into my room to say goodbye or anything. Just left, which has become her thing. obviously eager to go to her boyfriend's house because I went by, the different bars that she would normally be hanging out. And she's not there, so I'm assuming she went directly to this boyfriend's house that she claims she doesn't have. It's possible she went somewhere to get something to eat. That's very possible. Certainly if I worked the shift she did, and I wasn't about making love to my boyfriend after I got off work, I would probably be going and getting some dinner. But regardless, it doesn't change the fact she left. She left, and she left her laptop on and streaming. So I went ahead. I checked the mail. Mailbox was somewhat full.